Hello, I'm so happy you're here. Today is part 2 of this junk journal flip through. I hope you get value out of this. Stay tuned. The first page is really simple. It's just a black background from a book page, and then I did some circles on a cereal box. I wanted the brown color, so I added it, and then added some real moss with hot glue. And I just cut out some lined paper I had, and I added some facts about moss. One fact is that they provide more carbon than trees, meaning that making this spread with real moss wasn't a good idea. If I made some damage, I'm sorry, I'm still learning. This one is one of the most loved photos on Pinterest. I guess it's because it's easy to recreate. Let me know in the comments. So I used real lichens. I made the first spread with just markers, scribbling, trying to make a tree, and then added real lichens. And then I wanted to make a more scrappy page, so I did this one with book pages, handmade paper to simulate the lichens, and some brown bag as the tree. Here I just created one of my favorite techniques, that is just to make a background with a lot of scraps, like textbook pages mostly. Then I added some real pressed bougainvillea from my mom's garden and a purple quote to make it cohesive with the label. This is a cluster, which is just a lot of scraps clipped or glued together. I basically use the same pages from the background, so it adds like a 3D 2D look. This is a cosmos petal that I added here like a wax seal with hot glue. This spread is one of my favorites, and I spent so much time making it because it has a lot of scraps on it. To make it, I draw a shell, and then I started adding scraps bit by bit, filling the spaces. I used tissue papers, textbook pages, coffee filters, and collage photo. And the quote says, "Do not be afraid of getting out of the shell. You might find a better one. You might experience greatness at the end." Okay, this one was using an envelope. I just used the window part of the envelope because it has like bark pattern, and that was the prompt of the day. So I draw on the background. I think it was with some cheap markers. Then I added the leaf to the envelope, and then I added the envelope into the page to make sure the leaf was centered. And then I added some little ants. I don't know, because you can see a lot of ants in the barks. And the brown part is just a piece of thick folder and more moss. The prompt for this spread was fossil, and I knew I could find some at my mom's farm because we have some cave formations there. So I spent the morning looking for some, and I finally find it. Let me see if I can find the photo. I added it here. So then I printed the photo I took with a thermal printer, And then I added this frame that I made from a patterned cardboard from something that I bought. Okay, next spreads are these ones. I tried to use the same style for both pages to make it cohesive. Here I used a Masterboard. I will leave the link below so you can make your own. This is just a large page where I create a background with a lot of scraps, and then I can use it in a lot of other crafts. I use handmade paper again. I cut it into like a tag, and then I added this uneven leaf. I used the Masterboard as well in this spread, and then I added some leftovers from line pages that I wanted to cut out and remove the borders, so then I used them in here. Then I clipped together some leaves I found from the same tree, and then did some doodles with a marker. And this tab was made with a corrugated cardboard. Okay, these spreads were really quick. I just used dyed paper on this one and then added a leaf I found. And I used, since the leaf was broken with some wormholes, I got inspired to create a little quote or poem, as I usually do. And the black markings I made with the hair roller foam with just some black acrylics. And it says, people might damage you and leave you feeling broken. Just reach out to your inner child and you will heal inside out. This one was a lot of rectangles and squares I found. This was from a ballet parking. The yellow one is a Monopoly card, and the purple one is from a perfume box. These are banana florets. And these markings were made with a toilet paper roll. Okay, next ones are these two pages. In this yellow one I did use a dictionary pages to do some doodles with some markers, and then I added some yellow construction paper. Then I added this label and glued this bougainvillea leaf, which is actually a print from my pressed flora printable sheets. I'm really happy with the quality. It really looks like the real flower. Okay, this background is from a calendar. It's a flamboyant tree. This is a really common tree in Puerto Rico, so my mom has one. So I collected some of the seeds and I made the printable as well. Okay, in this page I wanted to create a cairn, so I used some collage folder and cut out some rocks and I stacked them just as I would stack the real rocks. Of course I added some poem, and the poem says, even when everything seems uneven and without a proper order, things always find a way to be balanced. Here I added the scraps from the other page just to make it cohesive, And then I added some envelope and I added some leaves. The prompt was hairy leaves, so this was the most hairy leaves I could find. In this spread, I used a lot of dryer sheets that I dyed with avocado skin and onion skin. I did some markings on the background and then I added the dryer sheets, and when you glue a dryer sheet it's see-through, so you can still see the markings in the background. These are real leaves that I glued on a paper because it was impossible to glue the leaves into the dryer sheets with a glue stick. So that's a tip for you. If something don't glue together well, you could add some backing to make it adhere well. In this spread, I was experimenting with the Momigami technique. If you have a lot of magazines, you will love this technique. The idea is to take some magazine pages that you like the colors or patterns, and you add some water or oil to the page, and then you start crumbling the page for 3 minutes or more, and you will see how the color fades and it adds a lot of texture. This spread, the prompt was sticks, so I gathered a lot of sticks that I found on the floor, and then I sewed them into this dryer sheet with some cheap cotton thread, and I added pieces of an herb plant that was dried as well. And this spread is a hibiscus leaf. I added some tissue paper, some magazine scraps. In this page I used a digital masterboard that I made, and I cut it into pieces to cover both pages, and then I added the same elements to both spreads. This one was made with magazine corners and patterns that I found. Since the prompt were roses, I tried to draw a rose in the middle to make it the focal point. This spread was made completely out of magazine pages. I will leave the link below. I know you will love this technique as much as I do. Let me know if you give it a try. And this is the last spread that I made in this journal. I have so many empty pages still, so I hope to make them with you. As you can see, I created in random pages just because the pages are different, so I pick the page that I think it will fit better with what I want to create. I really hope you like this and it gives you a lot of ideas of what to make. If you have any questions, please leave them below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful, and subscribe for more. Thank you so much.